Let me introduce you to one of the most notorious pests in the vegetable garden, the squash vine borer. If you've ever grown squash, zucchini, or pumpkins, you might already be familiar with the heartbreak these little creatures can cause. They're sneaky, destructive, and can wipe out a healthy plant almost overnight if you're not paying close attention. Despite the fancy-sounding name, the squash vine borer is really just a small white grub. Imagine a fat, wriggling worm with a big appetite. It's not much to look at, but don't let its size fool you. This little larva is capable of causing big problems in your garden. The adult form of this pest is a moth, and while the moth itself might look harmless as it flutters around your garden, it's actually the next generation, the larvae, that you need to worry about. The adults are just the delivery system for the real troublemakers. Here's how the cycle begins. The female moth lays her tiny reddish-brown eggs right at the base of your squash plant's stem, usually close to the soil where you might not notice them. She's clever, choosing a spot that's hidden and protected, making it easy for her offspring to get started. When those eggs hatch, the tiny larvae waste no time. They immediately bore straight into the stem of the plant. Inside, it's cool, safe from predators, and packed with juicy plant tissue, everything a growing grub could want. They tunnel through the stem, eating as they go and leaving behind a trail of sawdust-like frass, which is a telltale sign of their presence. The real danger is that these larvae do all their damage out of sight. While you might expect to see pests crawling on the leaves or stems, squash vine borers stay hidden inside the plant. As they feed, they disrupt the flow of water and nutrients, causing the plant to wilt suddenly, even if the soil is moist. This wilting is often the first sign that something is wrong, but by then, the damage is already done. But don't worry. Once you know what to look for, you can spot the signs early. Look for small holes at the base of the stem, surrounded by yellowish sawdust-like frass. If you see these clues, you're dealing with squash vine borers. In plain talk, these pests eat your plant from the inside out. But with a little knowledge and vigilance, you can catch them before they destroy your crop. Knowing their tricks puts you one step ahead in the garden game. So how do you know if you've got vine borers? First, look for wilting. If your squash plant droops even after a good soaking, be suspicious. Healthy roots and stems don't wilt so fast. That droop is the plant's way of sending an SOS. Next, check the stem right at ground level. Gently push back any mulch or leaves. You might see a tiny hole where the larva entered. Sometimes, you'll notice some yellow, sawdust-looking stuff. That's called frass. It's just bug poop mixed with plant bits. It collects right at the wound. If you see frass, you've got a vine borer inside. Don't panic. The sooner you catch it, the better your chances of saving the plant. Also watch for sudden plant collapse. If a vine that looked fine yesterday is now limp and sad, it's time to check for borers. Knowing these signs is the first step to beating them. Now let's talk about what you can do before trouble starts. First, wrap the base of your squash vines with foil or cheesecloth. It sounds simple, but that little barrier keeps moths from laying eggs right where they want. Just wrap loosely from the soil line up a few inches. Next, check your plants every few days. Lift the leaves and peek at the stems. Early catching is half the battle. Look for holes, frass, or wilting. If you catch a borer before it burrows deep, you can stop it cold. Another tip, plant squash in several waves, not all at once. If one set gets hit hard, the next might dodge the bullet. This spreading out, called succession planting, keeps you from losing your whole crop at once. These steps are easy but powerful. Keeping an eye out and being ready is the Southern way. We don't let pests get the upper hand. If you spot a squash plant in your garden that's suddenly wilting or looking sad, don't panic. One of the most common culprits is the squash vine borer, and while it can look pretty grim, there's still hope for your plant. Even if you see signs of damage, like yellowing leaves or a droopy stem, you don't have to give up just yet. You can absolutely save your squash with a little care and attention. Let's walk through the rescue process step by step so you can give your plant the best chance at survival. First, take a close look at the base of the stem. You're searching for a small hole, often surrounded by a bit of sawdust-like frass. This is the entry point where the borer larva chewed its way inside. Using a small, sharp knife, something like a craft knife or a clean razor blade, gently make a slit lengthwise along the stem, right over the hole. You only need to cut an inch or two, just enough to open up the tunnel. Be gentle and steady so you don't harm the plant more than necessary. Inside, you'll likely find a fat, white grub, the squash vine borer larva. It's usually curled up in the middle of the stem, munching away at the plant tissue. Grab a toothpick, a pair of tweezers, or even a popsicle stick. and carefully pull the larva out of the stem. Take your time to make sure you get it all, as leaving any part behind can let the damage continue. Once you've removed the borer, toss it far away from your garden, or if you have backyard chickens, they'll be happy to take care of it for you. Chickens love these little pests as a protein-rich snack. Sometimes there's more than one larva inside the stem, so check carefully. If you spot any others, repeat the process and remove them all. The more thorough you are, the better your plant's chances. Try to keep your cuts as small and minimal as possible. The less you open up the stem, the easier it will be for the plant to heal and recover. After you've finished, mound fresh soil over the wounded part of the stem. This encourages the plant to grow new roots right from the buried section, helping it recover faster. Gently press the soil around the base to secure the stem and provide support. This extra soil acts like a bandage, giving the plant a chance to heal and regrow. Give your squash a deep watering to help it bounce back from the shock. If you have some compost or organic fertilizer handy, sprinkle a little around the base to give it a nutrient boost. Remember, plants are often tougher than they look. With a bit of care, they can recover from even serious setbacks. Don't be discouraged if your squash looks wilted or rough right after the surgery. It's normal for the plant to look stressed for a few days as it heals. With time, you'll often see new growth and healthy green leaves emerging. Sometimes, after surviving a borer attack, your squash plant will come back even stronger than before. This hands-on, old-school method might seem simple, but it's been saving squash plants for generations. Give it a try and you might just rescue your harvest. Here's the truth. Pests come with the territory in Zone 9A. Hot, humid summers mean bugs love it here too. Even the best gardeners lose a few squash vines some years. That doesn't mean you failed. The key is to be alert but not anxious. Routine checks and a little prevention go a long way. Sometimes, despite your best effort, a vine or two won't make it. That's just part of gardening in the Gulf South. We learn, we adapt, and we replant. Don't let squash vine borers keep you from growing what you love. Each season is a fresh chance. The more you work with your land, the better you'll get at outsmarting pests. Remember, every gardener's got a story or two about bugs. You're not alone. Together, we keep on growing. Let's wrap this up with a little encouragement. Squash vine borers are tough, but so are you. It might seem daunting the first time you find a wilted vine, but trust me, you can handle this. With some simple steps and a watchful eye, your squash can thrive, even in the muggy heat of Zone 9A. Remember, every garden has its ups and downs. The important part is to keep learning and keep planting. Don't let a little bug stop you from enjoying the best homegrown squash in the South. So get out there, wrap those stems, check your plants, and try again. The reward is worth it. You've got the tools, and you've got the spirit. If you like these videos and want to help us grow, drop us a comment. Like and subscribe. Happy gardening.